everybody, it's Casey Williams. I would argue that no automakers use its portfolio of classic brands better than the Ford Motor Company. First, they made an electric vehicle out of the Mustang, a 5-door crossover, very cool, and then an electric version of the F-150 pickup truck that I think will do very, very well. Of course, there's the Maverick hybrid pickup truck and 2 Broncos, a compact crossover based on the Escape, and the vehicle we have here today, the 2022 Bronco. Let's go look at it. So we've tested the Ford Bronco Sport a couple of times. That's essentially a crossover based on the Escape and sharing architecture with the Maverick pickup truck. This is a different vehicle. This one's based on the Ranger, and this is the full-size Bronco. It's got a full frame underneath of it, and it's really the one you'll buy if you want to do some hardcore off-roading. And what I really like the best is from the outside of it. The styling really is reminiscent of the 1960s Broncos. Not the later versions that you might remember from O.J. Simpson fame, but the ones from the 1960s to the mid-70s. It really starts at the front, the round headlamps, kind of this, it's plastic, but it looks like the old metal grills with Bronco script across it. It is metal bumpers, tow hooks. This is the Black Diamond Edition, which is really kind of a simplified, pared down version for some hardcore off-road. But I like it really cool. I like the tie downs here. These also help you when you're driving off-road. Helps you really see the corners of the vehicles and know where you're going. 17-inch black wheels, just the steel wheels, the off-road tires on it, black trim. Again, just really simple. This one has the lift-off roof. There's 2 panels over the front, very similar to the Jeep Wrangler. You can take those off, or you can take the entire roof off and really do the hardcore off-roading and enjoy some sunlight. Come around the back. Tow hooks down below again. Spare tire outside, so you have maximum cargo space. And really quite a lot of space in here, too. Like the rubber mats. Back seats, of course, fold down. Plenty of room. You got your luggage in here and all your off-road gear. Looking at photos, I think you could literally wash down the interior of the original Ford Bronco after a day of adventure. Get all the mud and the muck right out of it. And this one, I think, has the same feeling to it. It just feels like you could go out, get your muddy boots in it, get rained on, go splashing through the rivers and streams, and it just not hurt the vehicle at all. But it's also very stylish, and I like that a lot too. The Bronco interior is very much like the Maverick, like the Bronco Sport, and Ford, I think, is doing this very, very well. They can make an interior that's not expensive to make, but does not feel cheap. It still feels special. I start tapping, there's a lot of hard plastic, but it's gray, and it's got a texture to it. You got Bronco embossed here in the dashboard, gray down below. Just really looks good. Even little details like the blue pulls here on the air vents. Again, everything just looks really, really nice. Touchscreen is very easy to use. It's Ford's standard touchscreen. Very intuitive. You got audio, phone down below, your app suite, and this one has satellite radio. This does not have navigation. This package doesn't. But you do have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, so you can connect your phones very easily. You can also get the 4G Wi-Fi pass, so you can have that inside the vehicle. Down below, manual climate controls, but they work really well. Just big buttons for the fan speed, temperature, proper volume and tuning knobs, which I think every vehicle should have. So again, it's not automatic, but it's perfectly easy to use. This big switch here, this is for the 4-wheel drive system. I've gotten too high right now, but it's also got 4 low, 4 high, and 4 automatic. And then the GOAT modes, which stands for goes over almost any terrain. So you can further configure the powertrain, the throttle, mostly the throttle, for different driving conditions, throttle and traction systems. So a lot of technology there as well. But again, I really just like what they've done with the interior. It took me a couple of minutes to find the power window buttons, but they're here. Nice deep cubbies here, USB ports, and the dashboard's really, really cool. So it's got a flat screen dash. It's got a digital speedometer, digital tachometer. But it's kind of like this bar graph tach. So again, just kind of unique to this vehicle. Looks really good. Auxiliary switches here for lights and light bars and probably plows, anything else you want. But those are up here. The panels, easy latches here. Panels pop out. But they've just done a really nice job. And one last thing I want to show you before we go away. There literally is a plug in the floor. So you can scrub this down, open up the plug, and wash right out the bottom of the vehicle and call it a day. I think the thing that surprised me the most about the Bronco was how it handled. I expected something kind of like a Jeep Wrangler that's refined enough, but still just really bouncy and kind of shakes you around. This isn't. This has an independent front suspension, and it makes all the difference in the world. It just does a much better job of absorbing, rough roads and rough trails, and just provides more precise handling, more precise steering, and just better handling through the corners. just feels more like a regular crossover than a hardcore off-road vehicle. But it's still really capable. I mean, it has a robust suspension system to handle the hardcore off-roading, the locking four-wheel drive system, the go modes, so you can change the powertrain for different configurations. So it's really a capable vehicle, but it's really, really good too. So this vehicle has 2.3 liter turbocharged four-cylinder, delivers 275 horsepower and 315 pound-feet of torque. I think that's enough power in a vehicle this size. It seems to accelerate fine. This has a 7-speed manual transmission in it. You got 6 regular gears, and unique on this is it has a crawl gear. So you drive some other hardcore off-roaders, and you're always kind of grinding through that first and second gear because the ratios are so low. This one's not. You can drive like a normal vehicle in the top 6 gears, and then when you do that hardcore off-roading, you shift into crawl mode, and you've got that low gear ratio. So I just think it's really a good balance. I like that the shifter's here in the console. Sometimes the Jeeps feel like you're kind of rowing tractor gears. This one just feels like a normal crossover, and I like that a lot too. So let's talk about the four-cylinder engine. If you don't like the Turbo 4, there is a turbocharged V6. It has 315 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque, so a lot more robust. The Bronco is rated to pull 3,500 pounds, so you can put a nice RV on the back, jet skis, and tow those as well. Fuel economy, as you'd expect for something that's shaped like a brick, is horrendous. 17 miles per gallon in the city, 19 on the highway. But when you're driving a full-framed vehicle that has the off-road capability of this, that's really not unexpected. But overall, I was just really pleasantly surprised at how it drives. I think most people will be. And again, I think most people think it's a really kind of an old-fashioned Jeep feel to it, and it's really not. It's a vehicle you can drive on the highway. I'd put my family in it. I'd drive 1,000 miles in it, no problem. And I like the fact that the clutch and the shifter are all both light enough that you can slog through morning commutes every day and not wear yourself out. But overall, very nice job. I like what Ford has done with all of its classic brands, but I especially like what's doing with the Bronco. If you had said, hey Ford, why don't you go out there and try to make a competitor for the best-selling Jeep Wrangler and even do it a little bit better, you would have said that is absolutely crazy. But Ford did. It dipped into its archives. It uses the Ranger platform and a lot of pieces it already had in its toolbox and created a vehicle that just makes a lot of sense. It's a nice driving vehicle every single day, and it's just very cool to be in. So let's talk about price. So the base Bronco starts about $28,500. That's the two-door, very basic model. This one, you're looking at $42,720. Well, next week, another fun car. Until then, strong forward.